Talladega to find extra speed out to the Talladega Boulevard. It was Cinco de Mayo last night. Is that Jeff Gordon?
Yes, it is.
Oh, you were finding a little speed last night, too.
That's a good time out there. I'll tell you what, those folks know how to get it done. It is fun out there in the infield.
Tonight always big party.
Tonight will be great, too, Mike. Charlie Daniels, you want to see a great show. You want to see an 80-year-old man come out there and crank it up? Go see Charlie Daniels tonight. That devil will go down to Georgia.
That'll be fun.
Guys, I want to expand on something Joey Logano said a while ago about everybody feels like they can pick up speed from round 1 to round 2. And it's because these cars have been sitting all day long after going through inspection. Now that you've run those laps in round 1, there's heat in the wheel bearings, there's heat in the transmission, there's heat in the gear. You want everything to have heat in it, and then the goal is to get that water just as cool as possible where you can run as much tape on the nose as you can.
Now, Larry, how close do these cars have to be today to the way they will race tomorrow?
Yeah, unlike Daytona Speed Weeks, this is what we call an impound race weekend. Basically, after qualifying, they put these things in the garage, Mike. They pull the door down. In the morning, you can adjust the tape on the nose, the air pressure. You can warm the engine up. It's a very small amount of things that you can adjust between qualifying and race at an impound race weekend.
Okay.
You talk about the tape on the grill. Here's what we're talking about right here. You can see that grill is taped up solid. There's no opening whatsoever for air. That's going to make the most amount of downforce, the least amount of drag, but also the engine gets hot. So it's a good thing we're only running 1 lap.
Now, the location of that inlet in the grill is higher than it is at most tracks, and it's done to prevent bump drafting, repeated bump drafting between 2 or more cars. Here at Daytona and Talladega, where that opening is, the trailing car will overheat very quickly. Denny Hamlin, the FedEx Toyota, 50.54, and that is a pickup of 2/100ths of a second over his first round speed.
Yeah, Mike, among the top 12, only Chase Elliott and Kevin Harvick have won a pole here at Talladega, so we could have a first-time pole sitter here today.
And here's Kevin Harvick.
I love the sound of the engine just going away.
I'm curious to watch the RPMs up here to see how much it drops in 1 and 2 versus how much it drops in 3 and 4. We were talking earlier about the wind down in 3 and 4. Seems to be slowing the cars down a little bit. Really didn't see the RPMs drop there, but 8,300, that's solid. 190 miles per hour.
That's solid on 80. Before it was flickering 82, 83. Now let's see when he turns off into the wind. Automatically starts to lose 100 there. Another 100, just a couple hundred RPM. That's a lot on a restrictor plate. Should start picking back up as it comes down the front here.
Now, if we were at Daytona, the start-finish line would be right there in the middle of the tri-oval. At Talladega, it's down here toward turn number 1. Harvick is quicker, 50.39 seconds. He picks up 1/4 of a second from round 1.
Yeah, I just think that's just what an incredible mind that Bill France Sr. had.
That's hard to drive it straight with all that wind. Yeah, definitely.
You know, you never hear the drivers talk about the wind. The wind doesn't typically affect these cars, especially at a track like this. So that just tells you how heavy that wind is blowing when a driver says, wow, it's gusty out there.
But don't you love Rodney Childers? Yeah, 10-4. It's like,
tell me something I can fix.
I can do a lot of things. I can't do a darn thing about the wind.
Joey Logano, the Shell Pennzoil 4. Richmond winner. And Miles Stanley is crew chief this weekend because it's all part of the penalties handed down from Richmond after post-race irregularities in the rear suspension.
And then Greg Irwin's going to call the race on Sunday, bringing in the specialists, bringing in the strategists. I love that move. That's pretty cool.
50.64. Logano falls off 1/10 of a second from round 1. Larry, what'd you notice there?
Well, you have that window opening on the left side. You have the window in the right side. But what Joey is doing is he's holding his left hand up there flat to try to block part of that window opening just behind the A post. Just any little something to reduce the drag of that car. You can see it right there.
Yeah, Larry, it's amazing the detail that these teams go into that, the aerodynamics and the horsepower and everything for this qualifying. And so they know what things can happen in the wind tunnel. And so they'll tell the drivers, hey, if you just put your hand up right here, it might be worth, a little extra count of drag or less drag.
Yeah, and it's not illegal. I mean, nobody said the driver can't put his hand up there and block that opening. So it's just being pretty smart.
Now, the purpose of that opening is so the driver can see his side view mirror, which is just inside of the sheet metal, out of the wind.
Yeah.
But you don't need that when you're the only car on the racetrack. Paul Menard, the Valvoline Menard Chevrolet, one of 3 Chevys in the top dozen. Second, 50.495. He picks up 5 100ths and pushing a little steam there as he completes his run.
This is a cool looking car, though. I love that paint job. It's awesome. When I say paint job, I say, why did I say that? That wrap is awesome.
Not all of them are wrapped. I know this one is.
Some of you out there, your cars are not all painted, and I love that too, but I get called out every now and then about things like that by a member of my family.
Well, if you painted a car, you would then put cut vinyl stickers on it to make a scheme like that. So I guess you could paint it, or you can wrap the whole car in pre-printed vinyl in that scheme.
I know for the Daytona 500 being on the front row there, it's such a big deal. It's such a prestigious pole or front row to be on. They will paint everything on the car. So, even the sponsor logos, sometimes they will paint. Some of it's for weight, and a lot of it obviously for drag.
Yeah, I think they clear coat a lot of this stuff when they do that. So perhaps you don't want any edges. You want to run your hand across that car and it's as slick as a
baby's bottom.
Yeah,
there you go.
Know where you're
Kyle Busch, 50-51. He is 3 100ths of a second slower than round 1. So right now we have a Ford, a Chevrolet, and a Toyota in the top 3 spots, as Daniel Suarez makes his run in round 2.
So DW right away, I'm looking at the RPMs in the corner here for Suarez in 8,200. We saw where Kevin Harvick is 8,300. So, right away you're seeing where some of that speed is out there on the track.
So the yellow stripe on the rear bumper, that's required of all rookies in the top 3 NASCAR series.
In the past, I always said we didn't have enough of those. Right now, we have a pretty good selection of yellow bumpers to choose from, or several of the guys are rookies and doing an incredible job. I love
And
rookies.
I remember how much action in Daytona at that race there was. I can't wait for this race tomorrow. These young guys, they love to dice it up. There's no patience. They're just going for it.
Second for Suarez. He is 5 100ths faster than round 1. So now it's Ford, Toyota, Chevrolet on top. And here's Daniel's teammate, Matt Kenseth.
Boy, that's close right there. 30 now with a 4 and a 30 now with a 7. Pretty hard with the Suarez.
Kenseth, the pole winner last year, won stage 1. Led, I think, the first 164 laps at Richmond. Threatened to stink up the show, but then cut a tire late in the race and finished 23rd. Joe Gibbs Racing has not won a race this year. They were 5 out of 10 at this point last season. Denny Hamlin said, we're lacking speed. It's a lot of little things, but he said we're lacking speed. And perhaps it's not as magnified on the short tracks as on the big tracks, but 4 Toyotas in this final round show that they have at least some single lap speed here in Talladega.
Yeah, then next week we get to find out if they've improved that mile-and-a-half program when we go to Kansas.
Top of the chart for Kenseth. 50.353. He picks up 7 100ths from round 1.
We just don't have any speed. That's a pretty good lap.
Trevor Bayne. This Roush Fenway Ford. They put both their drivers in the top dozen this week. with Trevor Bayne and Ricky Stenhouse, who was fastest in round one.
Look at this. He's already flirting in the green. Not by much, but it's there.
See, he's flirting with 83 down the back, just like Harvick was. He's got 8,300. That's what
Losing a
Harvick
little
had
bit here.
Same RPM, and then as soon as he gets here to turn 3 and 4, Harvick lost a couple of hundred when he turned off in a corner here. One.
It's going to be close.
Coming back a couple hundred RPM, just like Harvick. It's going to be right on
It'll
the
be
top.
a battle of thousands between him and Matt Kenseth. Coming back. Too close to call.
Definitely too close.
Good thing for computerized timing by 6 1,000ths of a second.
Easy on the footer. Easy on the footer.
Position 2 for Trevor Bayne.
What he's saying is don't get on the brake real hard and bottom the car out to hit the splitter. That's a 35 with a 3 versus a 35 with a 9. So really, really close between those first two cars.
Chase Elliott, last year's pole sitter. His dad, Bill, the track record holder, carrying the sponsor that took Alan Kulwicki to the championship 25 years ago, Hooters Restaurants, on his Hendrick Chevrolet.
He's got some nice RPM coming up. You see up in the top right corner, but it's 8,300. That's what we've seen max on most of these cars.
You know, Alan Gustafson and the guys on this 24 team have done amazing things, getting poles at Daytona and Talladega. And I certainly witnessed that behind the wheel, but doesn't look like they have quite enough here today.
Well, the 24, the team has won the pole for 6 of the last 8 restrictor plate races at Daytona and Talladega.
Still my favorite Jeff story. Chase won the pole the first time in the 24 car. Jeff looked at me and says, well, he said, wasn't the driver.
5th for Chase Elliott, 50.42. Now he fell off, about 8 100ths of a second from his first round speed. Brad Keselowski, former Cup champ from Michigan, driving for Team Penske. His teammate Joey Logano, 9th right now, and at a 50.64. Let's see what Brad can do. Owner of 4 Talladega wins, including his first career win, which he scored in a Chevy for owner James Finch.
Yeah, Mike, but this guy, he always amazes me. And I know he's a student of everything about the sport, the history of the sport, the future of the sport, what's going on right now. And I know he studies these cars in the aero package and how the air affects them, probably as much or more than anybody.
2 100ths to the good. Make that 3.
That's coming. I mean, look how sealed up that splitter is.
That thing is
great. Great job getting the.
She's scienced out.
Right.
She's scienced out.
Obviously, they got the temperatures right as well.
Did he knock Kenseth off the pole?
Yes.
Yes. 50.28. That is half a tenth pickup from round 1 and 7 100ths of a second faster than Matt Kenseth. So Ford goes to the top of the board over Toyota with a Chevy and a Ford left.
All right.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. in his final spring race at Talladega. 6 wins, most by any active driver. He announced a week ago that this will be his final season in the Cup Series.
Oh, this place
That's
is
a lot of.
going to go mad if he starts this race on the pole.
That's big RPM, 8,300. We've been seeing about 82 around turn 1 and 2. Let's see if he gets anywhere near 84. Can he get on up there? Maybe, no.
5 100ths to the good entering turn 3.
Looking pretty
As
good.
long as it doesn't drop down to that 81, I think.
Right now it's a Ford Toyota front row.
It stayed up there, Jeff, at 80. We
It's
saw him,
gaining.
it's coming back. We saw him even picking up here, so he's got a good lap going. Really good.
Boy, all eyes are going to be on Dale Earnhardt Jr. this weekend.
Dale Jr. 50.19. That is a full tenth of a second faster than round 1. And Dale Jr. is fastest with 1 car to go.
I know Ricky Stenhouse would love to win the pole, but it might not be the most popular thing to do today.
Time to go about that.
So it's now a Chevy Ford front row, and Stenhouse comes to the green with a full head of steam.
Oh, he does.
Hey, Mike, where the start-finish line is located, we're able to see what the get-up-to-speed lap is. Leaving pit road, coming back around to take the green, this lap here was the best of anybody, even Dale Earnhardt Jr.
And Mike, Larry, we're seeing 8,400 RPM down the back. I haven't seen that on any other car.
Look how much he's gaining. Over a 10.
This thing is bad fast.
Ricky Stenhouse grew up on the dirt tracks of Mississippi and took his skill, turned it into a cup career with owner Jack Roush. He and crew chief Brian Patty trying to take the pole from Dale Earnhardt Jr. and does. 49.99.
Good job, boys. Appreciate everything.
Stenhouse picked up 0.2 of a second from round one.
Brian Patty, his crew chief, walking down through there with his chest kind of poked out. I don't blame him one bit.
Second career pole for Stenhouse.
And that gap between first and second, that's quite a bit. We talk about hundreds and thousands, and shoot, he's 0.2.
Oh, he had about 100 or so RPM in the bank all the way around the racetrack.
Previously this year, he had started fourth on 2 occasions. It's his first pole of the season, and he is the 7th different pole winner this year. Had never started better than 6th there.
And what I love, that qualifies him for the Clash next year. Pole winners will be in the Clash next year, which gives this, I think, qualifying a little special meaning more than ever before.
For Ford, it's their 5th pole of the season and 25th in the history of Talladega back to 1969. For Roush Fenway Racing, their first pole of 2017 and their 3rd here.
Teammate Trevor Bain, he's 5th, so both those are Roush Fenway cars right up there today.
Well, Dale Jr. picked up 1/10 of a second from round 1. Thought that might be enough. Ricky Stenhouse goes out and picks up 2/10. Wow.
That's impressive. You got to apologize. Dale Jr., I'm sorry we beat you.
Vince.
Well, you picked up 1/10. Not quite enough, but pretty good speed for you.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. Great lap by Stenhouse and the Roush guys. They did a really good job today. Thrilled with our car, good speed, and it'd been nice to get a pole. Probably could have sat down and talked to Rick about running a Clash or something, but let's see if we can try to get another one later on this year.
Yesterday you said you weren't all that happy with the car in practice because when you pulled out you weren't able to pass everybody. A little happier today?
If I am, I ain't gonna let my team know about it. I won't stop working.
Keeping secrets.
How about that?
Go, Junior, go.
Jamie.
And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I asked if he could do it all over again, and he did, and Junior Nation just went, oh, man. How good does it feel to Ricky? It's been 4 years since we've seen you start from the pole.
Yeah, it'd be nice to lead the field to green here. The fifth, third guys worked really, really hard on these cars. Like I said earlier, Jimmy Finning done a great job on the Speedway cars. This is cool. Doug Yates builds awesome horsepower, with his dad, Robert, not doing as well as we would like. It'd be cool to dedicate this one to him and all the hard work that the engine shop does. So, it's a cool way to start the weekend. We're ready to get to Sunday.
Ricky, talking about Sunday, you've had a couple of tough years with the team, just struggling to find your way back. This year, it seems like you're back. It's a 2-car operation now. What's been the biggest difference in your mind?
There's a lot of difference. The culture at our shop is just different. The guys want to work there. They want to show up to work and work harder. They're seeing that, working harder is making different results for us. And so it's been a blast for Trevor and myself to drive these race cars each week. And, we plan to keep getting better and continue to bring better race cars to the track and go out there and, lay it all on the line like we do every week. So it's been really fun to drive, real special. A lot of good people at Roush Fenway right now.
Second career pole, looking for his first career win tomorrow.
Larry, what do you think made the difference for Ricky Stenhouse?
Well, 2/10 is a lot, but one thing that we picked up on with our Hawkeye system is watch Dale Earnhardt Jr. at the top as he goes to lead pit road. Look how he's spinning those rear tires. And watch Ricky Stenhouse Jr. never spins a tire. And I talked about it. His get up to speed lap was better than anybody in that final round, talking about Ricky Stenhouse Jr. to 17.
We talk about details. Every single detail really matters.
Doug Yates with a big smile. He puts the power to that car. Vince?
And one of the beneficiaries of that Yates power is Trevor Bayne, qualified 5th. You guys have made, as a group, this Roush Fenway team has made such a big stride this year in the success and the power of your cars, and reflected today in the qualifying. How does that make you feel to be a part of that?
It's fun, man. I'm telling you, when we can come to the track and be in contention every single week, it's a lot more fun as a driver. I know Ricky's loving it today, but every racetrack we've been to this year, we've been better. Our Super Speedway program has been solid the last couple of years, but for Ricky to be on the pole by a couple tenths, it's like, man, if I knew you had that in the tank, I'd have borrowed a couple. But we're in the top 5 with both of our cars. Hopefully all the other drivers can see we got fast forwards and they'll be willing to work with us, because it's going to take other guys wanting to work with you as well as your car being good and staying out of trouble. But these good starting spots give us a chance to stay out of trouble early in the race. Just thanks to Advocare, Liberty National Life Insurance, and Performance Plus, and everybody around Fenway Racing.
How good does it make you feel for Doug Yates to see the recognition and the gratification that they're getting from all our hard work?
Well, it's not just Roush Fenway Racing that's making our cars faster. Doug and his group are Roush Yates Racing Engines. They're giving us this power that we need. You see it at the mile and a half. You see it at the super speedways. We're getting better, and it's just such a good group effort. I feel like our communication's better between our team and the engine shop. I feel like Ricky and I can feel it in the race cars. This is all about race cars and engines when you come to Talladega and Daytona, and we've got those.
It takes so many people to make it work, Mike.
Certainly does, and in the engine department, led by second generation Ford engine builder Doug Yates. Jeff, was Ricky Stenhouse out on the boulevard, Talladega Boulevard, last night for Cinco de Mayo?
He found a little extra speed. I see him wandering around out there.
Maybe that's part of the secret.